I'm Sydney. Like she said, I'm a new kid. I just started writing poetry a week ago, so let's see how this goes. I got 3 short poems today, and I'm gonna start with one titled Movement. Did you know that everything is empty space? Molecules dancing around each other in the open air. But this happens in solids too. Rocks are made of holes. Everything is always vibrating, even in the calm and still. Movement stops for nothing besides 0K. The chair experiences this, the floor, your hair. Movement can be drastic. Things combine, a radical change. Remember that nothing is ever still. It is but an illusion to make us comfortable. My second poem I'm going to read is titled Roots. Pain grows like roots in the mind, taking hold, making home. Knots that suffocate, keeping tied down. Spirits wrapped up, crying out. They're persistent, strong, seemingly permanent. But roots can die, be removed, a battle to face. The mind breaks the hold. It's unusual to be free again. With freedom comes choice. Lets the roots invade or rise above the ground. Being trapped no more, possibilities are endless, making friends with the clouds. Climbing mountains, running free, roots no more.
So the poem I'm going to read tonight is called Americana, and I wrote it about 3 years ago after watching a documentary on the Americana Massacre, which was a quelling of a rebellion from workers at a platinum mine in South Africa. Several thousand people had taken part in a work action, and over 100 people were injured, and several dozen people died as well. So this is in reference to that. A bullet for infection, 112 injections, stop the spread with dozens dead, 4 months till my election. McBuffalo the traitor, now opposite of labor. The boss in bed with platinum head, we've lost our arbitrator. We have 500 rand, but billions in his hands. Each day we dig for dirty pigs deep under desert sand. We work and bleed and sweat to pay our hungry debt. So tired now, collective vow to make the mountain trek. With patience we sit waiting, our roof and bed dictating. Protection feigned, they try in vain, our weapons confiscating. Green blanket calls dismount from off the mighty mount. Thousands strong now join the throng towards the body count. Spears clapping and just singing, their chants in valley ringing. Box them in, we're gonna win. Let's start the tear gas flinging. First 17 are dying, the scene now horrifying. They're on the run, the hunt's begun. We've doubled bodies lying. It's just like 1960. Well, maybe not so swiftly. It's not the cracks, this time it's black, and certainly more grisly. Cease fire, yell the bosses. Too late to stop the losses. Medics barred, no badges charged. See all the wooden crosses. 270 arrested of those who had protested. A murder charge, but they just marched. The system is infested. Americana had backfired. 4 weeks they did inspire. 100 grand to take a stand, each worker filled with fire. Thanks.
So I will read 2 poems to you. One is Moving On in Peace. It is so easy to be angry at people's poor choices, their wrongdoings, and all the injustices. It is easy to cut off the guy who cut you off and to honk at him long enough so he knows how you feel. It is easy to plot revenge violently or in legal action against the violent people and against thieves. But real power sometimes is in letting go of our anger, resolving our feelings, and moving on in peace. My happy place. I kept searching for my happy place when I lived in Victoria. I had a hard time finding my tribe. For someone to whom connections to people is very important, it was pure suffering not to be able to connect. After I moved to Fanny Bay, a much smaller community, I connected with many people. Not being able to find much work, we moved to Lethbridge, where I made many connections, and my circles are getting bigger. I am really happy because I feel like I am a part of a great community. The other day, I got a phone call from my partner's daughter and their sons wishing me happy birthday. Josh, our 14-year-old grandson, said, "I love you, Nana." My heart melted, and I realized that is my happy place. It is when and where I feel loved. Love you, Josh.
Good evening, everybody. I have a poem, one poem that I just wrote called Eggheads. I say to my eggs, come back to me. That way lies asymmetry. Why, when so roundly round, smooth and sound, celestial orbs like the sun and moon, safe inside, hands folded over the contents of the entire human world, and pregnant with the potentiality of all our collective hope, why countenance mere tendrils of fimbriae grasping and unseating you, fingers tickling you into a conveyance as narrow, utilitarian, and confining as a fallopian tube, especially after the open commons of your ovary palace? Why on earth fall into the slow tumult, the rhythmic gulp of peristalsis? It will roll and coddle you, yes, but bit by little bit, you will be on a collision course with the leap of life itself, propelled by the, excuse me, the seeking, flicking tail of a beguiling black puppy, softly and repeatedly going for your throat, tongue at the ready, to breach your perimeter and lick deep, deep enough to spark growth, essential cellular motion that may eventually sprout the chaos of reaching hands, tiny feet, arms and legs, but only after the roundly round, the smooth and sound human head is formed to house the master mind. Okay. So I say to my eggs, you are redeemed. Go ahead then, you're on your own.
The first poem I wrote as an exercise for an online course that I did a while ago. It's a free course offered through FutureLearn from the Manchester Metropolitan University called How to Write a Poem. And this exercise, we were given 2 columns of words, about 6 to 8 to 10 words in each column. We're to choose 1 word from each column and write a poem. So I chose green and pen. The green pen lay on the desk pad as if she'd just put it down, pausing for a moment to consider her forming phrase. I feel her absence palpable in heart-clenching pain, her unfinished words like her just beyond my reach. Dare I pick it up? Will its ink ever deign to flow for me? Perhaps in time, when grief is less insistent. If you're interested in that course, just Google FutureLearn poetry, or you can ask me about it. The second poem is one that I've been thinking about for quite a while, and it wouldn't come and it wouldn't come. I was thinking about how people perceive things differently, and where one person can see great beauty, another sees great ugliness. And this is based on something that actually happened to me. So I call it Beauty Is. Beauty, it is said, is in the eye of the beholder. And I would also say that beauty is in the eye of innocence. Many years ago in time, but not in memory, I sat, my toddler on my knee, and watched with countless millions the televised launch of a space shuttle called Challenger. We saw the 7 astronauts, 5 men, 2 women, process in single file, all smiles, hands waving, no sign of nervousness or doubt. Among them was a teacher, the first of her profession, and the first civilian chosen to be launched into space. She, Krista McAuliffe, waved so proudly to her students back home who were, like all of us, intent on our small screens. We counted down to 0 and watched that proudest of phallic symbols thrust upward, roaring, tails of flame. Then, scarcely a breath later, 73 seconds later, explode in an inferno from hell. I sat frozen, tears of disbelief blinding my eyes, and heard my toddler's voice proclaim in wonder, "Look, Mummy, how beautiful." Thank you.
For Barbara, roses are already here. Bear with me for a moment, dear, as our summer slowly closes. Content in us, I do not care who decries our garden. Great the pleasure that we've taken, ardent the joy I have in you. The laden bough, the harvest wait. We are our harvest, you and I. We have loved and we have labored. Now in the slowing year we will savor sweet late roses bright in the sun. Rose-red apples perfumed and tart. It is well with my heart. And, okay. Part of the problem or part of the deal with this game that we're in is that there's great long stretches where you have no idea what you're doing. And so you take them as they come, and this one came to me. My little brother's chewing on a bug. A big old, icky old, shiny black bug. Crawled down the wall and it scooted across the rug. But he got him. My little brother's gone to eating dirt. Muddy old, mucky old, icky black dirt. He's got mud in his hair, and he's got mud on his shirt. But he ate it. My little brother's always eating snot. Icky old, sticky old, gray-green snot. He offered me some, but I said I'd better not. Maybe after dinner.
I was there when my brother fell out of the barn door into the huge herd of cattle who panicked but didn't hurt him. What did I care? I had another brother, a spare, and 2 all right sisters to boot. They say children have no fear because they do not understand the gravity of death, of no longer being able to share time with loved ones. I have no ability now to understand why I pushed him. Maybe I'm evil on the... Or maybe he did something earlier that day, whatever it was. Pushed me in a puddle or got extra kisses from Mom. Or maybe I was spooked as well. 4 younger siblings to stress and I wring my hands. The barn always smells so constantly alive, but bad things happen in familiar places, and it doesn't feel as safe as when I was a kid. I guess I've always had a dark, deadly side. Poem like a lariat, lasso, and yank you by the throat. Listen and attend carefully, you dumb cow. I liked your butt, loved it. It was dear to me, but it drooped. The pelosity, once endearing, became repellent as your standards of personal hygiene were called into the office of my attention. Your butt cheeks no longer wobbled or shook, but shuddered. I wrote a love poem to your arse. Is it telling that it wasn't about your prying silent eyes? You weren't a bear, but a berserker. Okay.
It's been a while since I've done this. I figured I'd give it up to the younger folks for a while. Anyway, recently I've kind of abandoned the literary world and started sending things out to science fiction, fantasy, and horror magazines. I'm working on this middle grade book about the environment from the point of view of cryptids, creatures which may or may not exist, Ogobogo, Sasquatch, etc. Anyway, this one came from a conversation my wife and her sister had. It's called If a Dolphin Had Digits. If a dolphin had digits, things would be different. A dolphin could pitch no-hitters, bowl for dollars at the Aquadome. A dolphin with digits could do dishes, Twitter on the internet, play frisbee with sand dollars, skip rocks off human conchs, softly, of course. If a dolphin had digits, it could play golf, sell widgets, sign messages to presidents, get out the fish vote. A dolphin with digits could write books, outdo humans in any domain, all the while smiling, humming the latest dolphin pop tune refrain. If a dolphin had digits, it could outspan and outplay any classical or jazz pianist any day, hang bubbles like baubles on Christmas trees. A dolphin with digits wouldn't lose itself in a bottle, but play his bottle nose or lift a rose to his blowhole. If a dolphin had digits, it still wouldn't need to count on its fingers. He'd be creating waterproof computers. Dolphins ain't doofuses, dude. A dolphin with digits would oppose not only fingers and thumbs, it would oppose the very idea of putting bums in office seats or pews. Okay, this is a fanciful poem about GMOs, genetically modified organisms, called Frankenfish. Think I'm worried about your fish hooks, Holmes? Ha! I already sport 4 and my lips would be sporting 4 more if I had ears. Yeah, pay a little line out, fuss and fight. You're gonna need a little elbow grease to land me on your deck, babe, 'cause... Female backup singer's part. He's a GMO, punk salmon with a mohawk, appetite and attitude. Yeah, say it, Frankenfish. Before you slap me on your dish, I'll give you your 3 wishes. You'll wish you never caught me. You'll wish you never cooked me. You'll wish you never ate me. Yeah, that's right, baby, Frankenfish. Got plant and animal genes spliced into my chromosomes. Female chorus again. Hold your hats and phones. He's got hopped up hormones. 2 rows of nasty teeth. Bite me or I'll bite you. Either way, babe, you're gonna lose. Frankenfish. Go on, make a wish. Wish you didn't feel so sick. Wish you didn't glow at night. Wish you didn't want another helping. Yeah. Frankenfish. Frankenfish. Punk salmon on a cedar plank. Punk salmon got the bite on you. Woo, Frankenfish. Ain't seafood a bitch. Frankenfish. Frankenfish. Thank you.
everyone. So I wrote this poem a few weeks ago. It's kind of a new idea that I've been thinking of when you think of self-care and things like that. And I think sometimes we take care of our mental health and sometimes we forget to take care of our body as well, and that our body is also just as important as our mental health. So this is thinking about that in pertaining to relationships. So I titled this one Package Deal. I forgot to tell my body that he doesn't love us anymore. So every time she sees him, she leaves me crying on the floor, begging me for his touch, rebelling every time I tell her no, desperately still longing to have his body hold her close. He didn't take care of us, I tell her. He only loved you, not me. And unless we're in this together, I can't give you what you need. I know his touch is familiar, but he closed his heart, then ran out the door. And every time he comes knocking, he isn't willing to give me more. The love you feel in his fingertips stops short of connecting our souls because his emotions are bottled up so tightly, it's a wonder he doesn't explode. A cavity of potential sealed by the words he will never give to me, and I need more than his body to keep the darkness at bay. I know every time you see him, it doesn't make any sense. You still feel the connection simmering. It doesn't feel like he left. But we are in this together, and I'm telling you now that I know, he's only pretending when loving our body because he's too scared to let his real feelings show. And the second one, I think I've read it before, but I tweaked it a little bit. And I really like it, so I'm gonna do this one. It's called Pedestal People. How do you let go of someone who never really existed? When you built up a fantasy that omitted all of the flaws, reality was not so beautiful, but the memory persists that I was happy when I was with you. Have you ever fallen in love with a person's potential and forgot to wait to see if they ever lived up to the lofty pedestal you set them on? Is it even their fault when the world comes crashing down because it was you who refused to see? I fall in love with pedestal people. I see all that they can be. They have so much potential, I forget to be patient. I'm so bad at being patient. I end up living in a world only I can see. Sometimes clarity comes. Other times I struggle to remove the filter, no matter how dirty the lens might be. Those are the hardest to move on from when I'm still playing make-believe. Neverland hasn't been disenchanted. I'm still free to believe in Peter Pan, Captain Hook, and Mr. Smee. Other times, when I see them stumble, it hurts, but I'm willing to wait, to sort through this new side of someone without being destroyed by the weight. Loving pedestal people, they're no different than you or me, but the secret to pedestal people is loving them enough to let them be free. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So I'm going to read 4 short ones. I'm just going to put a trigger warning on my entire talk tonight. It's been a bit of a week. So anyway, first one I'm going to do, I don't name any of my poems. I feel like that gives them too many expectations. But this one, I cry all the time when I talk. I find myself saying this often, usually through tears. Flippantly brushing off my emotions in order to make other people more comfortable. It's not a big deal, this happens all the time. Comfortable with my pain, anger, and hurt. What about me, though? Body worship and self-harm. Skin. 2:13 a.m. I find myself awake in the early hours of the morning most nights. I get mad at the sun when it rises. Unfortunately, the night is the best time for breathing, to be still.
Tonight, my poems rhyme for some reason. This one came to me in the middle of the night. I woke up at 3 a.m. and it was there a few days ago. I wish that I had had a key to unlock the chest inside your brain, that I had fingers fine enough to reach inside the tangled chain, unraveled all the lies you told and turn your face around so that you could see my eyes again before you sprinted to your death. I wish that I could reel up time and fix the mess we made before I stood on the curved bridge to cast it out again. Here's one for Lent. In the chaos of the moment, with pressure everywhere, you find yourself inside a place that is not anywhere close to where you need to be. You cannot see your way. In the chaos of too much to do, when you have no time to play, you gasp at every faithless thing the critics have to say in the soulless, borrowed place that is your everyday.
Thanks, Terry. Hi, everybody. Good evening. So I do swear, but not up here usually. It's usually the peaceful, enlightened, but powerful, but today is probably the most angry thing I've ever written. So my dear people, this poem is to my rapist. And it's an angry poem, but I have forgiven him. My enlightened journey has been to explore the extremes of dualities, so like all my darkness, all the light, because I feel that we are made of both. The reason I wrote this poem last year, and every time I would read it to anybody, I started finding that every person could relate to it. That's a lot of us. And then I started finding youth and children connecting to me even when I didn't speak it, but they told me their story. So I feel that the reason I forgave my rapist is because I do really believe that every soul in its pure form is light. But then there is also the dark. But I'm purposefully exposing my dark because I'm sure my rapist is also taken over by the darkness. And maybe it's more in some than others. But speaking about it is halfway to recovery. And it also gives other people permission to speak up. Because a few days ago, I felt that there is no time to be afraid if there's so many of us. So here it goes. To my rapist, the devil, even the word doesn't do justice to what you did. The whole time, your intentions were ill. You had your eyes on me. You showed up to use me, to abuse me. I had my guards down. You used your sweet gestures to lure me in, always attacked when I was most vulnerable, making me think it was love, but it was just a mask. You just wanted to have fun. You made me an object of play. You implanted fear in my soul. I even fell for it. I thought I was powerless. Now I know you just wanted my body. You just wanted to feel good about yourself. It was never about me. You disgust me. I just want to puke. You go around pushing and forcing and call it power. Don't you see, you poor thing? You're the weak one. My spirit is untouchable. You can take my body, but you just add darkness to darkness. Every time you take, you lose a part of yourself. You poor lonely thing. Are you looking for love? You won't find it here. Your power is just an illusion. You are a filthy animal, full of greed and lust with a caged heart, shackled by your own weakness, I hope you die in your own blood. I bet your lonely heart suffocates you at night. Without a woman, you are nothing. Swallow that, will you? Without a woman, you are nothing. You know it so clearly. You are a weakling. Go f yourself. There's no love for you here. How lame of you to throw your dick around. Everywhere you go, you're a whore. Ha, don't you see? You're the whore, you fool. I can't stop laughing. You powerless monster. What disgrace to power. You lonely fool. You weak fool. I don't fear you. I'm waiting for you to show your face. There is bullets of fire waiting for your empty heart. It will go straight into your heart, and you will turn to dust. Whew, I need to breathe for a sec, guys. I bet you feel sorry you had no idea who I was, did you? I can already smell your flesh stewing in the fire. Come again, will you? Won't you? Let me show you true power. I won't even have to touch you, because I'm not a whore like you. I just want to give you a taste of your non-existence. Love, a warrior woman.
I just want to also say that takes incredible courage, Selma, what you talked about. You know, the guy, Harvey Weinstein, just got charged in the media. It's going to be, they're talking about Me Too movement, that will be like the second. So I just want to send out love to anybody who's gone through those situations. I've had people in my life affected by it too. It's a pretty shaky experience, so good job, Selma. Okay, so I'm gonna read this before I go into my stuff here. Weed is my friend, usually is when I'm up here. So I'm not technically sober, but I am sober right now. But for right now, I'm gonna do this without it. You find folks, words and sentences are my promise tonight. Okay, so I'm gonna try to do these slower. I'm also trying to be a spoken word artist, so I'm gonna, these are my attempts at trying to do this while I figure this out for myself. Okay, this poem's called Ghetto Blaster. I'm just gonna play on this drug stereotype because that's what people think I appear to be until they talk to me or ask me. Here's my answer, weed or mushrooms? Are you disapproving? Inevitably, I always assure myself. I understand you think I have mental health issues, I do. That also adds to my ability to see nature of things differently. I understand it's easy to hate that for your reasons. See, for me, I'm camouflaged in it. Anything else about it has to mean something to you. I'm a leaf, maybe. Think of that way. Canada's also a leaf. It's just not green or maple. It soaks, smokes, puffs. The reality is when we are not doing well, we are safer there. It's like when I get older, I'll be stronger. They'll call me freedom. That's what the song said. I'm acknowledging you and your swayness, but here, what I understand is this. Don't listen to what I say. You'll be okay, and that's just it. The do-over, the don't-overs. Don't think for a sec because you'll reject. You won't be betraying your power. You'll be becoming one over. I'm gonna continue to write this, so here for now, you'll conquest. Skittle Blaster. This one's written about my brother. It's called 1987. You and Dad driving that Camaro, side by side. You Corvette it. It isn't oh my God yet. She's a 2010. That blue outsider is a 1987. No bought or brought. The fields in the back. The house. Dad's projects. The yellow car, a Transformer Explorer. He said he bought it for you. You tell him you love this and you said, it's a bad boy. Yeah, I know Bad Boys 3 is coming out. It's your time. Don't play time. Pretend this time, pretend that time. You were praying your talent time. Remember this memory time. The melodies you riffed off your guitars play like this because one day he might forget. I got the Fiero and I got the tow truck. You got 2 cars that profile legendary Hook. What I mean is, remember what you're doing with him. Fastness, fierce inspired me to get my learners. I dreamt of moments like that. It was a firefly for me, that 12-inch subsystem called Clarion. I never had motors, wheels, or be it like that. I was there in his shop. You've got the house garage. Build this feeling from ground up. You started 4 hours, the snow, that long hood. You felt like, wow. It's 1987.
I'm also a very new poet. I just actually found my voice at the beginning of February, so this is the very first poem that came to me, and it doesn't have a title. My reality is the moon, my dreams are the sun, forever held by the thread of life. The stars align to give a sign of hope beyond the universe. Do I dare take the leap? How do I learn from pain? My strength comes from the sun. My demons are many moons, all woven together by compromise. Which way will I fall? And then this one's on the earth element. Grounding, the word alone is peace. To be one with nature is my roots. I walk barefoot through the meadow, through the Garden of Eden. I blossom among the roses and their thorns. Each prick makes me rise taller, till I kiss the sun. From flowers, I grow into trees, overlooking the earth below. The forest welcomes me. It invites me to expand my universe. As I climb up high, the peak appears. Everything stands still. I hear a voice announce, I am a mountain. And then this was on Monday, and it doesn't have a title. I am one with nature. The birds sing my songs. The wolf howls, and I awake. The trees grow, and I ascend. The mountains remind me of my small existence. The moon encourages me to meditate. Let go, breathe. Feel the earth under me and the universe above me. All at once, unity. Thank you.
I actually didn't really write a lot of poetry in January to February. I was here for January's and had nothing to read, and really ended up producing what is more like a collection of rants and essays. And I didn't want to force you to read all those or hear all those. So I made found poetry out of everything I wrote between January and February that wasn't a poem. So this poem is called January to February. Who are we when we come into our power? Can we abandon our desire for an ideal? How do we reconcile ourselves at our worst with ourselves at our best? What is this binary? What does it mean to escape suicide and depression? But what does it mean to live with it? Holy, I'm bad at keeping up with this. What happened in the past week? Lots, I guess. He called me existential. Therapy was good. I'm going soft, pink. Uh-oh. Very tired. Possibly a vitamin thing? Should probably start those again. Dreamt about fidelity, both clarity and subservience. Not writing causes a lot of stress. Even writing with the wrong pen causes stress. This was sad. I screamed and cried. Obviously, this made me feel like aimless in flux, with no memory, no personality, just things happening to a body in space. There's a book connected to me that makes me a person. If you drink water and eat, you will magically have clear pee, and also you will somehow have no mental illness. Your body does not belong to you. It belongs first to those who have power over you. No amount of feminist theory will make you feel comfortable in your body. In fact, the opposite is true. The place we come to find our body, a new body horror. The cost of public education is normativity. Choke, a word. The day will come where you choke on the joy you feel now, when the pain you hold together now falls apart. I don't want to be the last one out, turning off the lights in the spaces I used to share. Love comes to be a commodity. Consider envy. Rooted in envy is a dream to have, attain, value that which we do envy. I self-harm with the safety, peace, and happiness you get to feel. I'm a ghoul. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. Maybe that's actually my mind, and not my body. I guess BoJack Horseman Season 6 has me thinking a lot. Loneliness and addiction. Back to June 28th, sitting in my ruined car, breathing heavily. In the end, we always drown ourselves. But do we? Are we as alone as we choose to be, or as alone as we should be? Boundaries broken. My heart died, and everything is worse now. If someone was looking closely, they would have seen the light in my eyes flicker before finally blinking out. Liminal, a liminal person. It's just complex and will take time. You have the rest of your life. It's okay that you didn't give up when you had the chance. Your file is quite extensive. It's okay to not know where to start on this. It's hard to even say it all. Quote, I almost cried writing this. Quote, oh wait, everyone probably feels this way. Thanks.
I'm wearing my owl hat for obvious reasons. The first poem is an intro to the second poem, because we have to establish some ground rules so that I know I can trust you guys. But the first poem is also an attempt at something that I thought about for a long time. You know how in music they have a variation on a theme? So I thought, why don't we use lyrics or verses from another poet as a theme that we can make variations on. So this is an attempt at that. I will credit the original theme, if you wish, in the end, but I'm sure you will all recognize it. This first one is called Self-Portrait in the Nude. I am whatever you say I am. Because if I weren't, then why would you say I am? What I'm not is dangerous in any way. I do not strive to hurt, only to connect. I do not strive to dominate, but to be accepted. If I do get hurtful, disarm me, please. Take my weapon, gift me with a tool, show me how to hold it. I am some things that you think I am, because if I weren't, then why would you perceive I am? What I am not is ashamed of my trials, my meanderings, my mistakes, my scars. Yes, I will try first and then reflect. I prefer to learn much more than to regret. Some parts are original, some have been replaced, all natural, organic, dairy easily digesting, gluten loving, justice loving, evidence loving, evidence reading, evidence understanding, knowledge loving, extreme extrovert. All you need is less loving. I am all these things you heard I am, because if you were, then how would the gossip spread? Burlesque dancer on leave of absence. 3 times salsa school dropout. Stand-up comic recovery. Formerly obese, constantly overeating. Well padded, though completely transparent. The worst secret keeper you have ever met. TV addict. Peanuts addict. Cheap shopaholic. Beer aficionado holic. I am everything I say I am. Because if I weren't, then how could you trust a damn? Communist, feminist, Republican, strictly in an anti-monarchist meaning, an atheist, a single child of now dead parents, never abusive or neglecting parents, often overprotective parents, proud holder of dual citizenship, a medical doctor with a parchment to prove, in Cyrillic, university instructor, fitness instructor, student of poetry, student of life. This is risky for me. I made you my community. You and you and you and you and you made you my community. So now it's your responsibility to believe me and uplift me and not be afraid of me. I ask you to have trust in me. How can you put trust in me? I trust you that by now you know how you can put trust in me. So the lyrics, I am whatever you say I am, because if I weren't, then why would you say I am, is from the song The Way I Am by Marshall Mathers, also known as Eminem. So,
Hello, good evening, everyone. It's great to be here tonight. I only have one piece to read, and I call it The Shower. It's one of the first pieces I wrote when I started writing in late 2014. I've always loved showers. Warm water streaming down, washing away a long day, a late night, or the stress of a hard week. Letting myself relax in the steamy beginning of a clean start. I used to say I would never shower with anybody. It's my time alone, my time to think, my time to just let go of the world. Yet last night, I found myself wrapped in your arms, warm water flowing over our bodies. I looked up into cobalt eyes, eyes that were looking at me like I was art, watching me stand in the steam, looking at my body like I was something precious and irreplaceable. You clasped your hands on the small of my back and pulled me in close. As you dipped your head to kiss me, I saw you grinning as if you were winning a prize.
So this first one's a little bit darker. It's a bit of an older poem that I wrote about a year ago, and then they progressed to be like more and more hopeful, and I think that's very reflective of the healing process and their newer ones. So here's the first one. It's called Dancing the Line. Yesterday, I emptied a bottle of pills into my hand, thought long and hard, turned out the lights and wrapped myself up in blankets, searching for warmth, the closest thing to the comfort of human touch I could find. Grabbed a glass of water and brought those pills to my lips. Considered it for a few seconds. Then I put the pills back into the jar and went to sleep. I woke up and did the same thing the next day, and the next. I glance at streetlights on the highway and consider it. Trace knives over my wrists, sometimes digging in just a little. I still consider it all the time, but never go all the way. Instead, I wake and sleep, go through the same steps each day, an empty body trapped in a cycle with no meaning. I take each day as it comes and have gotten this far. Does this mean that I'm healing? If it does, then why does it hurt so bad? Where is the life they tell me I'll come to enjoy? Where is the love they claim makes it worth it? I'm holding on for a form of living that doesn't hurt more than death, but I can't hold on much longer. All right, that was the first one. This one's called Haunted. I play hide and seek with the ghost of you, sometimes hiding from the pain, moving forward in my life, trying to distract myself, sometimes searching every part of my mind for a piece of you. Hours of memories and tears, rifling through photographs you never wanted to be in, hoping for a taste of the comfort you gave me. Phantom phone calls trying to tell you about my days until I remember. A memory can't answer the phone. You've been gone for a while now, but I'm finding that I need you now more than ever. I love you always, Dadi. That's an earthy word for grandmother. Yeah.
The first one I wrote 2 minutes ago while thinking about how I was going to explain my name. My name are my parents' names combined. It's Dayan, David plus Carolyn. So I wrote a poem about that. One name plus another. It seems so cute and creative. Or is it lazy? I think it's lazy. You disagree as you tell me for the millionth time it's beautiful. It's not. While most can get rid of their family's shame by changing their last name, I will never be able to do that. Every name I hold holds my ancestors' shame, not to mention my own. The second one I wrote right after my best friend's mom died of cancer. Time is a line, or is it a circle? No one will tell me. I asked her, but she giggled. 3 months, but 3 years later. I stared at her face, the clock I bought. It's still a functioning circle, or is it a line? I seem confused. The clock lies. Time is relative. Or real? I can't remember. Time can't be straight, it has bumps, or is that just the clock? I should be able to go back if time is a line or a circle. She giggles. Where does time go once it leaves Earth's atmosphere? Everything is in the past, the present lies, time lies. Or does she lie? 3 months, but 3 years later, then a month or a couple weeks turned into days. Time lies. Or did we lie? She giggles.
So, this poem is about Indigenous rights and challenges. I am Indigenous myself. I'm Mi'kmaq, and I am from the Metapenaugiag Mi'kmaq Nation, so that's in New Brunswick, and that's my mom's side of the family. And I'd also like to dedicate this poem to my mother. It was her birthday yesterday, and she passed away in 2013 due to addictions and stuff. Okay, so here we go. The world is watching, the veil is breaking. You can't hide anymore, more eyes than before. That see you genocidal maniacs, putting on carrying acts, but stabbing us all in the back. What's it all about? What is the need? Is it just money and hunger feeding your greed? How can you just stand by and watch? How does this not put a notch in your core and feel like an act of war? Oh, because it's not you, it's okay. Because it's not in your face, you can turn your head away. What a privilege you get to display. You say you're sick of hearing of Indigenous rights, sick of hearing us having to fight, sick of feeling bad for what your ancestors did, while forgetting and pretending it is undid. Here's what I'm sick of. The lack of acknowledgement that racism is still rampant, that Indigenous people are whiny and violent, that we should go back to where we belong, that the trauma that we went through happened so long ago. Well, guess what? You're wrong. Open your eyes, take a look around, and tag along. Take a listen, turn on that brain, and do some critical thinking and indulge in. People are suffering in the streets, showing their defeat. Why? Look, think, listen. Children are being discriminated against. Look up Jordan's principle and think of the consequence. Look, think, listen. People are screened with a negative lens, applying for jobs, homes, and shopping, while being judged to be some kind of addict or criminal because they couldn't be more. Look, think, listen. Murdered and missing Indigenous women. It's 2020. Why and how is this still happening? This society is broken. Look, think, listen.
People suffering with addiction. Don't you realize residential schools were all about destruction? The last one shut down in 1996. Do the mathematics. The 60 scoop, look it up. The trauma, the intergenerational trauma, the cultural genocide. How can we recoup? Look, think, listen. The world is watching. The veil is breaking. You can't hide anymore. More eyes than before that see you genocidal maniacs, putting on carrying acts, but stabbing us all in the back. What is reconciliation? What is the point? Why is it important? Let's give it a voice. It's making a promise to be better and understanding the factors, to make better choices so people can have voices. It's learning to treat people with compassion and learning while asking questions. It's starting to dismantle racism. It's activism. It's acknowledging that some of your perceptions and actions can be racist and fascist. Reconciliation, because racism and hate against Indigenous people is still here and thriving. What's happening in Wet'suwet'en is a prime example, and it's baffling. Look, think, listen. Become an ally. Identify the racist undertones around you and modify. Identify what ideas and perceptions you have and rectify. Examine them and verify. Have conversations and ask questions. Help us climb these mountains and feel your understanding spread, never letting it go unsaid. Try and understand the historical and present traumas. Look, listen, and think with compassion until it forges. Be better, treat others better, and treat yourself better. Hope ain't lost, the war ain't lost, and we are not lost. We are fighters. We are here. We are strong. We are resilient. We are Indigenous, and we are proud. The world is watching. The veil is breaking. You can't hide anymore. More eyes than before. That see us standing here. That see we aren't going anywhere. That are starting to stand with us. That are making a fuss. They are understanding that Canada, can be shameless and tactless. Change is happening now. And that's it.